Hey guys, I needed to change my CPU out, so I thought I would make a how to change your CPU slash processor video for anybody that has never done it before, that needs some information on how to do it.
Unable to comply.
So this is what it looks like when you're trying to edit the video on the computer before I change the CPU out.
Hey guys, it's Monday. It's like 7:30 in the morning, and today you're gonna spend a day with me. Yay!
Okay, when you get your CPU and you take it out of the box, sometimes they come with their own heatsink and fan. Depending on the type of computer you have, this heatsink may not actually fit onto your board. So you may want to reuse the heatsink that you actually already have on your board. Okay, so after your computer's turned off, don't mind the other screen that's actually on because that's a different computer. You want to disconnect all of the cords that you have going into your computer. And if you're new at this, try to keep track of what cord went where because you're going to have to put them all back in later. Now you're going to want a relatively flat surface to work on. If you look at the back, there will usually be some sort of a screw nut, or there could be two of them, and you're going to want to take those off. Sometimes it might require a screwdriver if it's been put on there too tight. Then you're going to want to lay the computer on the side that does not have the nut on it and pull the cover off. So now before you touch anything on the inside, you're going to want to make sure that you touch something else that's metal, like a file cabinet, or sometimes the corners of your window wells or walls have a metal strip underneath that'll take any static charge off of you. And then they actually make tethers that you can wrap around you to keep yourself grounded to the case the whole time, so that you don't disperse any static electricity. But I don't have one of those, and I'm pretty comfortable doing this without it, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. So what I'm doing here is there usually be some screws or clips that you use to take your heatsink off, which has to come off before you can take your CPU out. Once you loosen it up, you can pull the heatsink off, and then you can remove the clip for the power wires from the board. They just pull out. So now what you're seeing is the bare CPU. This particular type of CPU, you pull that up. There's probably something similar. You can probably look it up, your manufacturer board, and it will tell you how to do this. And then you can open it up and remove the CPU. And make sure when you lift it out, since you're probably going to be new to this when you're watching, you look at the bottom, and there's usually some way that you can tell how the CPU is supposed to be oriented in there. So the next time you put the new one in, you'll know which way it goes in. And take it out of the package. You're going to want to make sure, once again, that you line up this area that shows how you're supposed to put it in the same way that you took out the old one. Make sure that you put it in there fairly squarely and don't try to wiggle it around because those pins on the bottom are really sensitive. So once it's in, you can close this part back up. Normally the new heatsink will come with some thermal paste already placed on it. As you can see there, don't touch it with your bare fingers. So if it doesn't have any on it, what you're going to want to do is, I'm not going to do this over my case either, is you're going to want to take something like a flathead screwdriver or a razor blade, and you can scrape the paste off. This paste is, usually it's a lot harder than this, but I actually had to take this heatsink off the other day, so it's pretty new and gooey. So what you're going to want to do is get yourself a glove, and if you're putting the old heatsink back on it, you're going to want to take a glove and put just about a pea-sized amount of paste on the heatsink and on the processor. It comes in a little tube like this. And then just, it's kind of hard to push around, but you're going to want to kind of cover the area just where the CPU is going to be touching the heatsink. I'm just going to go ahead and use the new fan. There's a specific way the fan goes on the heatsink, because this area actually has to be higher than this area over here when you flip it over, because there's diodes right there that you can't touch. You're going to want to put it on fairly squarely, and then before you get it all the way on, make sure that you stick the power cord on. And with this particular heatsink, it doesn't have screws, it has pins, and you can just push them into the threaded holes on the board if it's in the right spot. And this is what it looks like now that the CPU is changed out.
Hey guys, it's Monday. It's like 7:30 in the morning. And today, you're gonna spend the day with me. Yay.
Show me.